Hello, WrestleNet radio listeners. Nate Maxon here with you. And this is the premiere episode of a new show we are going to do every single week here on WrestleNet Radio on Friday nights. We're taking a little slice of time for you and going back 25 years to check out all the news, the shows, the results, the TV shows, everything from 25 years ago in professional wrestling, all the news that was fit to dish. And here joining me on the premiere episode of the show, the man that you know as the host of What the Arch is Cooking, Mr. Archie Mitchell is here.
What's up, everybody? And I'd just like to say that if we're going back 25 years, I'm 14 again. So you can't hold me responsible for anything I say.
And, of course, the guy that's been with me since the beginning, the We Can't Wrestle podcast, and the co-host of Reliving the Extreme, my brother Aaron.
Woo. Hello.
Hello.
And I was, 12?
Let's see, 25. How old are you now?
38.
So 25 years ago?
12 or 13, yeah.
Yeah.
Nate, you would have been, 15 or 16?
No, he was like 26.
26?
In 1996, I would have been a junior in high school, actually.
Damn.
So there you have
it. Like long hair.
Yeah, I had long hair. You'd never believe it, Archie. I had hair to the middle of my back.
Damn.
No gut.
You say no gut?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I still had this same hairdo when I was 14. No. I had a little more.
you can't. Those of you that haven't seen Archie, that's a funny joke, by the way.
Right.
But we are excited to do this show.
I had feelings.
Positive about life.
Right. Yeah. I thought life was good.
That's because you
believed in God. I was happy.
It's because your wrestling was good. You were watching good wrestling on TV. It makes all the difference. But yeah, every single week we are going to do this little trip down memory lane, go back 25 years, all the news that was fit to dish 25 years ago in pro wrestling. And let's see here.
Before it was 25 years ago today. Sergeant Slaughter taught the kids to play. He was an agent. That was just a Beatles joke. I tried to do a Sergeant Pepper's joke.
I got it. I was laughing.
They can't all go over.
Yeah. Right.
Years ago, Sergeant Pepper taught the guys to play. Jesus Christ. Never mind. Go ahead. You can edit that out.
No, leave that in.
Well, let's start with the major headline for this week in 1996. WCW thought they had Brian Pillman wrapped up. Pillman had agreed to a money figure over the weekend of June 1st. There were just details to work out. WCW went ahead and began mentioning Pillman again on their TV show, thinking he'd be signed and back on television within a month or so. Pillman, though, took the leverage he had from WCW's offer to Vince McMahon. On Friday, June 7th, Pillman signed a 3-year deal with the WWF. So Brian Pillman, 25 years ago. Yep, go ahead.
And I feel like, I mean, Eric Bischoff says things, and for the most part, I don't think Eric Bischoff, you're going to tell me I'm stupid, but I don't think he's full of shit when he says stuff, because he's kind of an aloof person, and he did get taken advantage of a lot, but in his mind, I think he thinks he's right.
Right.
But I think, like when he says, I offered Lex Luger X amount of dollars, didn't think he would take it, and he did. Like, I believe it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But him saying that he told Brian Pillman, we'll work this deal out with you going to the WWF, and then later on you can come in for some more money. Fucking Pillman worked Eric Bischoff.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
Pillman was like, I ain't fucking coming back here. I'm going to Vince.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. If Bischoff would have came back to him and said, look, we've got a Hogan-type contract, maybe Pillman would have stayed and re-signed with WCW. but he knew he was going to Vince unless they were handing him millions. You know what I mean? In
Mhm.
WCW. And he played Bischoff perfectly because he stroked Bischoff's ego and was like, look, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Don't worry about it. And I'll be back. And Bischoff's like, yeah, here's your release. No problem. I like where you're going with this. Go to ECW. Talk to the WWE so it'll get to the dirt sheets. And then, Bischoff was just like, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a matter of Bischoff. Bischoff thought he was playing, but he got played. I mean, just essentially the thing there. Now, just recently here, this was WWF's kind of counter to the fact that within the past couple of weeks from here, both Jeff Jarrett and Ted DiBiase had signed with WCW.
Right.
So it's Monday Night Wars. People are jumping ship. It was exciting to be a wrestling fan 25 years ago, ladies and gents.
And when you look at the grand scheme of things, though, Vince, maybe not on paper with the ratings, but when it came to salaries he was giving up and giving to WCW because they were, guys that were migrating to WCW, but guys he was bringing in, Austin coming from WCW, Pillman coming from WCW, Mankind was coming, from ECW, but formerly at WCW. But yet, who did he give away? Hogan, Savage, Nash, Hall, Jarrett, and DiBiase.
Mm-hmm.
He gave up big money contracts, but brought in guys who were willing to take decent money and grow.
And build a future.
Build a future,
This is the time frame. Hey, lying when I say it, because he and I, as kids, we get in like little arguments and shit about it. I was a WCW, like an NWA WCW fan. Nate was a WWF fan. Not that I didn't like the WWF, but just in general, I liked WCW better.
Right.
And it was because I liked Steve Austin, and I liked Cactus Jack, and I liked Sid Vicious, these guys. And then they all of a sudden, both companies just kind of flopped their rosters, and I was just like, ugh. Now Steve Austin's on the WWF, and Cactus Jack, Mankind is in the WWF.
Right.
Sid's over there, this guy and that guy, like this was where basically what I'm getting at is they flop rosters basically.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it's like they flop rosters, not how Arch was saying, not in generally like great for Vince right away, but in the long run, now Eric's got these guys that they're the people that are popular right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Bischoff basically bought a used car lot.
Right.
And
right.
Vince bought fresh cars.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right. Mm-hmm. And we know what Vince said when he was giving Bischoff the titles. They run great. Don't worry about it. And as he pulled them off the lot, the wheels fell off.
Is there a lemon law in wrestling?
Right.
Nope.
But also, to Bischoff's credit, he was allowing Hogan to relive his glory days of the WWF in WCW by fighting guys like Kamala and Brutus Beefcake. Mm-hmm. And, it was like, so of course the fans were going to turn on him because, as we talked about before we went on the air, Nate, fans were starting to go towards the heels more at this day and age. So they didn't want to cheer for the super babyface anymore. Right. They wanted to cheer for the hard-edged guy who was speaking facts. So, and Pillman was that to the T. You know, Brian Pillman didn't care what he said or who he said it to. So when he debuted in the WWF, fans popped.
Absolutely.
So.
Well, let's dig into some of the news notes from the WWF for this week. In June 7th in Peoria, early in his match, Mark Marrow took an uppercut from Hunter Hearst Helmsley, which nearly took off his tongue. Marrow began bleeding immediately and needed 8 stitches.
And he was a former Golden Glove boxer?
Yeah.
Jesus.
How about this? The Vader-Warrior matches have been so short not to reward Warrior or punish Vader, but because both men are injured. Vader had a contusion on his thigh from a bump over the top rope, and Warrior has an injured shoulder. Rather than do a double countout, they are attempting to make up for the brevity of the bouts by at least having a clean job. The idea is since Warrior is winning, the fans won't be as upset with the length. I would think that the matches were short because Ultimate Warrior was in them.
Right.
And he sucks.
And if you let Warrior go too long with Vader and he pisses Vader off, Vader's going to start potatoing him. I mean, let's be honest. That's
right.
Vader wasn't necessarily known for being gingerly in the ring.
And who's the asshat that goes, "Hey, let's have Vader versus Warrior"?
Right. And it's not like they were building to a pay-per-view match, so why did that need to be a house show match?
Right.
What were you testing out? Which one was going to go crazy first?
Well, we can see here the punishment from the curtain call. As one of the news items here is, for now, Hunter Helmsley is off all pay-per-views this summer. We discussed a story when we did our pilot episode on the We Can't Wrestle podcast about the British Bulldog possibly leaving the WWF at this time. Our news this week says Bulldog appears to be staying, but it's not for sure yet. This is I think the dirt sheets admitting, we were wrong, but not really admitting they were wrong. Yokozuna will be taking time off in July to lose more weight at Duke University. We all know that story. He was supposed to happen. Yeah, he was supposed to get better. And I mean, I don't watch a lot of I'll be honest, I don't watch a lot of WWE produced documentaries.
His was really good though.
It was fantastic.
That Icons Yoko thing, that was good.
That was fantastic.
It made me love him more, but feel so bad for him when he tried to lose the weight and go out of his way to try. But then you hear Rikishi going, but he was who he was, and he just said, you know what, the F with it. I'm gonna keep my weight on. You know what I mean? And then he came back heavier.
Yeah,
because one match he had with Austin, he was like
Jake.
Pounds.
He was like Jake Roberts, but instead of smack, it was burgers.
Right,
like he couldn't do it.
Well, I think I kind of get the impression that Yoko was kind of like Andre, where he kind of expected that he probably wasn't going to have a long life.
Right.
So he eventually slid into, well, if I'm not going to have a long life, then I'm just going to live a big life, Right. Andre was pretty much like, I know I'm not going to live a long time, so I'm going to drink 19 bottles of fucking wine a day, I'm just going to live life, I've earned this money. I've worked hard. I've earned this money. I'm going to spend it, and I'm going to enjoy it. And that's kind of where I see that.
The good thing about it, though, with what the documentary showed and what we've seen, at least the WWF was trying to help him to get healthy, like they did with Andre, like they did with Jake, like they've done with people on drugs. They at least tried to get him some kind of help. It was just up to him to say, no, I can't do this, which the guy was 600 pounds at that point.
Right.
You can't expect a 600-pound person without going through a surgery of liposuction or, a tummy tuck or whatever they're going to call it, to lose tremendous weight immediately. I'm 300 pounds myself. I'm 5'8" and 300 pounds. It took me a year to drop 80 pounds, but I did it. And then I got injured and I put the weight back.
Right.
When you're 600 pounds, the most you're going to lose in about a year's time is 40 or 50 pounds. And when you're 600 pounds and you see 50 pounds off, it still doesn't make you feel like, oh yeah, I won the war. No,
right.
I still got 400 pounds more.
It can be, so, I can see it would be just very discouraging. Yeah.
It's discouraging. So I'm sure he tried, but then after a while he was just like, the hell with it. You know what I mean? I'm going to live my life.
We mentioned Jake a minute ago. On WWF Superstars, Vince McMahon portrayed Jake Roberts as having gotten hooked on drugs after his last WWF stint. After.
After, right.
But according to Jake, everything's the Honky Tonk Man's fault.
Yeah.
So
it was
the Honky Tonk Man caused
guitar.
The Honky Tonk Man caused Desert Storm with his guitar. The Honky Tonk Man caused the World Trade Centers to fall with his guitar. Everything's Honky Tonk Man's fault.
It's all Honky Tonk Man and Jimmy Hart's fault.
But you know what?
When they say that on that thing, Jimmy Hart's like, yeah.
I believe Jake.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Fuck the Honky Tonk Man. I believe Jake.
I don't believe Jake in that. I
I
don't
don't
believe.
believe Jake Roberts in anything that he ever says,
But his tagline was "Trust me."
other than the fact that Jake the Snake Roberts is a lying sack of
Oh,
shit.
come on. Come
I'm
on.
saying, he's a
Be nice.
liar.
He's not Brutus Beefcake.
No, because he was talented, but he's a fucking liar. Bruce
man.
Beefcake's not a liar. He just sucks. But Jake
All right.
is talented, and he's a liar.
I don't want to go down this beefcake wormhole. Thanks a lot, Archie.
I'm sorry, I had to. I love when he goes off on a beefcake tangent.
Johnny Gunn starts at the tapings following King of the Ring, doing a snob sex symbol gimmick called Salvatore Sincerely. We know it would wind up being Salvatore Sincere, not Sincerely, but kind of a booty gimmick there. Never a big fan of.
Sincerely sucked.
And never a big fan of Sal Sincere. Not a big fan of Johnny Gunn myself. Be perfectly honest.
It was such a stereotypical gimmick. I mean, the only thing he was missing was a handlebar mustache and to be twirling a pizza as he came to the ring. You know what I mean? It was like, hey, are you Italian? Yeah, well, we're going to make you even more Italian.
Mamma mia.
You know? Yeah.
Fucking asshole, Johnny Gunn.
Believe it or not, now he's the Patriot.
Yeah, he bought the gimmick from Del Wilkes. Yeah.
Or he was.
Ron Simmons also starts as a heel on June 24th, so there's good news. We got... we're about to see Ron Simmons start in the WWF here.
Farouk
yes,
Assad.
That we'll talk about it when we get to his debut. But the goofy get up and stuff. We'll dig into that when we get there. But
that's one of my favorite wrestling. That's one of my favorite wrestling signs ever.
What?
Which one?
On a Raw, they had a sign because you used to not be able to tweet in 1996, and there was no Facebook, right. So you had to take signs to wrestling shows. Right. Dude had a sign that said, Farouk is on fire. I loved it.
You know what? I know you said we're going to get to the Farouk gimmick when he debuts, but I just never understood something. They made him a gladiator, I guess, is what they wanted him to be, like a Titan with that helmet and that outfit. And then he had Sonny as his manager. Like, what? That made no correlation, like, to the gimmick. You know what I mean? If he was going to, I could see him having a female with him dressed like Cleopatra or some kind of, Arabian woman or something. You're going to be this gladiator and she's your, woman. But it was Sonny dressed in a beige skirt and a red tube top. Like, what? Who were you trying to get angry here?
Right. 96 Aaron wasn't complaining.
No, I wasn't complaining either, but 2020.
The people they were trying to make angry, Archie, were the guys in Alabama.
Right, exactly.
Well, the WWF had a house show at the Rosemont Horizon on June 9th, 96. And it was actually a near sellout, which is one of the first near sellouts they'd had in quite a while in the WWF at this point. Let's go down the card here. Justin Hawk Bradshaw beat Barry Horowitz in the opener. The New Rockers beat Aldo Montoya and Duke Drosy. It's a weird team. This is a weird team.
That's a tag team I would like to see gotten some gold.
Savio Vega beat Owen Hart with a spin kick. I was a Savio Vega mark.
They had a match on Raw.
I like them.
They have a match at SummerSlam too.
I like them better as Quang.
No, you didn't.
Said no one ever.
Actually, I did. I thought the Quang gimmick was perfect if they would have let him actually be an assassin who took people out. But the Savio Vega gimmick, when he first debuted, was like, I'm Razor's biggest fan. And all of a sudden, he's in the ring.
Baseball been very good.
Yeah, exactly. And you want to know what? 20 years later, he's in MLW still doing that same accent, doing the same promo.
But I like Savio, man. He was great in the ring.
I swear he cut a promo 2 weeks ago on MLW. And this snap was from the match I had with Stone Cold Steve Austin at the.
I'm still milking it.
Yeah, I'm like, you didn't learn any more English 20 years later. You know, it's like, what happened?
Wild Man Mark Marrow pinned Hunter Hearst Helmsley during the show. Ultimate Warrior beat Vader via countout after lots of stalling.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure that was terrible.
Yeah.
The Smoking Guns beat the Godwins. By the way, the Godwins an underappreciated tag team in the history of the WWF.
I agree.
And Bart Gunn is an underappreciated wrestler, in my opinion.
Yes.
Now, this was just before the Guns turned full heel. Because they were kind of on the cusp of it, because they were kind of wanting to be with Sonny, but Sonny went with Farouk, and then, you know, so this wasn't full heel breakups, Smoking Guns yet.
Right.
Like I know Billy had the personality and everything, but Bart was a much better professional wrestler than Billy Gunn.
Bart just needed a mouthpiece, and he would have gotten over, but they never gave him anything except for Tough Enough.
And I want to make sure I state that I am in no way, shape, or form saying that these two teams are even remotely close to as good as each other, because the Midnight Express is, you know, head and shoulders above the Smoking Guns. But to Aaron's comparison, what I was going to get at is, if you look at the team, Bart's almost like Bobby Eaton.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whereas
Billy was Stan.
Billy's more like Stan, yeah.
Right.
More understated, but a better wrestler, and then Stan was the personality.
I agree with that.
The next match, I'm going to read the description, because it's I don't read the whole description of the matches normally, but this one is just because it seems like it would be a fun little house show thing. The British Bulldog beat Ahmed Johnson via countout. The heel heat for Bulldog was especially high. Goldust's voice came over the house mic. Then a spotlight picked up Goldust above the entranceway. He taunted Ahmed, who left the ring looking for Goldust and was thus counted out. He returned after the countout and gave the Bulldog the Pearl River plunge. Owen then came out and hit Ahmed with the cast. Like that's a house show match right there.
Oh yeah, and you know what? I'm sure they would have they would have liked to have done it on Raw too, if they could have got away with it, but they weren't ready to go that route yet.
Yeah,
you know, that sounds like a Raw ending to me. You know what I mean? Like
it's a match. It's a match where it sounds like a lot's going on, but nothing happened.
But nothing. Yeah, nothing's going on. Yeah,
right.
Steve Austin beat Jake Roberts. Let me see here. The Undertaker pinned Mankind. Shawn Michaels pinned Goldust after a super kick.
Okay.
And that was the main event. Let's see how that ended. Shawn Michaels pinned Goldust after a super kick. Lots of sexual innuendo was mixed in, including Goldust kissing Michaels and grabbing his butt.
Jesus.
In the end, Michaels gave Goldust a kiss and then super kicked a light-headed Goldust with a super kick for the win. All right.
So wait a minute. They played up Goldust, the gay part of Goldust, by having Michaels kiss him back.
Right. Well, I guess they technically they did that with Piper at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but Piper was beating the shit out of him while he was doing it, so it was different. Damn. I mean, you know, whatever. I don't even want to get into this right now. Move on.
Let's move on to the results from Monday Night Raw from June the 10th of 1996. Owen Hart pinned Yokozuna. Yokozuna slipped off the second rope as he was setting up the Banzai Splash. Owen then covered Yoko and put his feet on the ropes for leverage and scored the pinfall.
And I believe that's the last time we see Yoko on TV until he loses to Austin when the turnbuckle snaps during the free-for-all match. Yeah.
Yes, because he does a promo here talking about how he's not the old Yoko, and he's thinking to get his hands on Cornette and lost concentration.
Right.
He's going to go find himself, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
One of my favorite moments, and it's not 1996, and it's in 1995, is when Owen first teams with Yokozuna, and Yokozuna's partner, and he's so happy, and he hugs Yoko. It's fucking fantastic.
They were a fantastic tag team.
Mm-hmm.
They were. I mean, at that point, Yoko still could go. He actually moved quickly for a big man, and Owen was the perfect, technical.
It's this little chicken shit that's like, I have this fucking 500-pound guy with me. Nobody can touch me now.
That's why
And he's the guy that beat Brat.
I always thought they screwed up their breakup.
Yeah.
Because from the beginning, like Aaron alluded to, Owen's little egocentric chicken shit heel gimmick was essentially, using Yoko. You know what I mean? Like he was using Yoko. And they wound up making the end of their team more about Yoko and Cornette.
Right.
Which I think it would have been better. And obviously Cornette's going to be involved because he's the manager. But I think it would have been they didn't focus on their breakup as a breakup of Owen and you know what I'm saying? Of Owen and Yoko. It was
just Owen siding with Cornette, not Owen, having a problem with Yoko. If Yoko would have just left on good terms, there would have never have been a Yoko Owen feud. So but they were a great team, and I kind of wish they wouldn't have broke them up. But I guess Owen had to go the way of being with Bulldog because they were a great team as well.
Right.
But, I think having Owen with him as a tag team afforded Yoko a little more in the WWF, and maybe they wouldn't have been pushing him to lose weight as hard because Owen was taking 70% of the matches, so Yoko didn't have to do that much.
Right.
That's, just the way I see it,
Also on this Raw, Mark Marrow pinned Skip. This was the Raw. This was the Raw that Jerry Lawler writes about in his book, where with Jerry Lawler's framed artwork of the Ultimate Warrior, and Lawler says,
"Yes,
Warrior never wore a hat to the ring, and on this night, he wore a hat to the ring, essentially giving away the fucking story."
Right.
Warrior was
all black face paint. A Warrior University hat.
You look like an idiot.
Cutting an incoherent promo.
I'm going to kick your ass at the King of the Ring. The Undertaker beat the British Bulldog in the main event of this Raw by countout when Mankind hit under the ring and grabbed the Undertaker's leg and pulled him out of the ring. So there's that Raw for June 10th, 96.
Do you realize you just said you just told us about 10 different matches in 2 days period of time between a house show and Monday Night Raw? 4 of them ended in a count out because they just couldn't decide of a better finish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, they couldn't think of a better finish, but at least the matches had a fucking finish.
They did. I agree.
They don't even have fucking finishes.
Nope.
They don't even tell you who won or lost or whatever.
Nope.
All right, WCW. Here we go. June 10th.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The June 10th Monday Nitro, pretty historic. Bobby Heenan fled the broadcast booth as Scott Hall approached. Hall got in Bischoff's face. The fans gave Hall a huge pop. Bischoff asked Hall what his surprise was. Kevin Nash then came up to Bischoff from behind, and Bischoff acts shocked. We have the first appearance of not the first appearance of Kevin Nash in WCW, but Kevin Nash's first appearance on Monday Nitro.
Not Vinny Vegas, not Oz, not the Master Blaster, Kevin Nash.
You say this is where the big boys play, huh?
Look at the adjective. My favorite line in probably any part of 96 because he totally cut down WCW at the knees there. Look at the adjective. Play. We're not here to play. It's just... And then, we talked about it during the preview show we did of this about how WWE sent the cease and desist so that Hall and Nash couldn't act like they were Scott Hall, Razor, and Diesel. Now, okay, all Scott Hall had to do was stop doing the Razor Ramon voice.
Right.
But Kevin Nash was Diesel. There was
no
a guy not to act like himself.
There was no difference between Kevin Nash and Diesel, yeah.
The
only difference would be the toot toot thing, or whatever the
right.
But yeah, for sure. Yeah. And at that point, Scott Hall that voice needed to be on his coming out of his mouth, you know.
Right.
But at that point,
Right.
And like we discussed on the pilot episode we did on the We Can't Wrestle podcast, every one of us agrees Eric Bischoff's full of shit
Yeah.
when he says he was not trying to allude to the fact that the WWF was invading WCW.
Definitely.
He's lying.
Completely full of no. It's two jaded former WCW stars coming back for revenge. Fuck off out of here with that shit, Eric.
Why didn't Scott Hall say anything about the Diamond Stud?
Yeah, the
why
Diamond
didn't Kevin
Stud.
Nash say, I'm not Oz? Why didn't you know what I mean?
Yeah, he should have come out and said, you know I'm the Diamond Stud, but you don't know why I'm here.
Right. You know? Why did he say...
Eric Bischoff got a letter that said Jerry McDivitt on it. It was like, shut the fuck up.
Hall's for where's the Nacho Man? Where's the Huckster? Yeah. Really? You're quoting shit that the WWF was doing a year ago.
Exactly.
So, but Hall milked it though more. Like, see, Nash was just Nash. Okay, fine. Hall was still wearing a vest. He still was throwing a toothpick. So he was still trying to be Razor Ramon. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then the whole thing with the NWO was who was the third man? Hulk Hogan, Mr. WWF himself. If it would have been anybody else, they might have been able to get away with, these are just gated WCW guys. They're mad because they never got over. You know what I mean? But you picked Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
Yeah. It was, but anyway, yeah. I just every time I think about Bischoff saying, "Oh, that wasn't my intention," I'm just
no, not at all,
liar.
Not at all. And
not that I like Bischoff, man. I do. I dig Eric Bischoff.
Right.
But yeah, he's fucking lying through his fucking teeth.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And Vince McMahon didn't mean to put you out of business. If you believe that Eric Bischoff wasn't trying to,
I like at the Raw reunion the Raw 15th anniversary or whatever, when Bischoff sees Okerlund. And Okerlund's like, if you would have managed the company better, Eric, we would be celebrating 15 years of Nitro.
Without a doubt.
Okerlund busting his balls. Some more WCW news here. There isn't a ton this week, but Hulk Hogan is slated to return for the August pay-per-view from Sturgis, which we know he's going to win the world championship there. Because by then he will be Hollywood. Hogan. Because Jeff Jarrett and Ted DiBiase both have months left on their no-compete clauses with the WWF, neither will be involved at Bash at the Beach. At the Bash at the Beach main event, July 7th, it would be a real surprise if the third member of Team WWF isn't Lex Luger. WCW may not announce who Hall and Nash's partner is before the pay-per-view to keep people guessing. Bret Hart, 1, 2, 3 Kid, etc. Oh, sure.
WCW, and I should just say Eric Bischoff, mismanaged Ted DiBiase.
Oh, definitely.
Like, he should have been a more integral thing in that.
Well, he said that in many different interviews, that he was brought in to be the mouthpiece of the NWO. And then Bischoff decided, oh, no, wait, I want to be the main head of the NWO.
Right.
So that kind of cut DiBiase off before he got started.
Like, how do you get Ted DiBiase, who's a great talker and a huge fucking name in professional wrestling, and just be like, oh, yeah, hold Hogan's belt?
Right. Right. Hang out with Virgil in the background. Hang out with Virgil in the background. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't fucking understand it.
Let's see here. That's about all the news. So talk about some TV tapings here for WCW. June 5th in Rome, Georgia at the Forum.
WCW be good.
WCW taped footage for WCW Saturday Night and main event. In a main event match, Kevin Sullivan beat Mighty Yankee. I have no idea who Mighty Yankee is.
Damn.
In WCW Saturday Night matches, Rick and Scott Steiner fought Fire and Ice to a double countout. Lord Steven Regal with Jeeves beat Billy Kidman.
Chives.
Chives.
Chives. Scum. He's out here with Chives.
Come out here with Chives. Sullivan beat Al Phillips. Arn Anderson beat Steve Armstrong. Lex Luger beats Arn Anderson and Steve Armstrong. That'd be a good match.
Yeah.
Lex Luger beat Squire David Taylor. John Tenta won a squash, after which Tenta chased Bubba Rogers to the back. DDP.
Probably still didn't shave that damn beard.
These guys are always, these big fuckers are always running around, aren't they?
Yeah.
John Tenta just chasing Bubba Rogers around. It's a big deal.
Boss man left for the WWF, and they were like, "Why'd you leave?" I'm tired, man. They got me
tired, right?
John Tenta's chasing me all over the goddamn place.
I'm gonna hang out with Al Snow and cook his dog for him. I don't want to deal with John Tenta anymore.
And then 3 years later, oh my God, Golga is chasing the big boss man.
Right.
DDP beat Kurosawa. The Nasty Boys beat Men at Work.
Why?
The Nasty Boys beat Men at Work. What is that? Mark Starr and
Canyon.
Mike Winter?
No, Canyon.
It was
Chris Canyon, I think.
Canyon wasn't part of Men at Work.
I think he was.
I don't think he was.
I
think Nate's right.
You might be right then. All right. I could have sworn he was.
Sting beat Hugh Morris.
That was probably a decent match.
In main event matches, Pat Tanaka wrestling as El Gato beat Kurosawa.
Kurosawa got no love.
Yeah, the cat.
Kurosawa makes that flight from Tokyo, which they say is grueling, and he lands at Atlanta's airport. He gets to the show, and they're like, "Hey, tonight you're gonna do a double shot, buddy, and you're gonna fight DDP
and
El Gato,
and then Pat Tanaka,
and you're gonna lose both matches.
I guarantee you, they didn't even say you're gonna lose to Pat Tanaka. They went, you're gonna lose to El Gato, and he just turned around and went, "Who? What?"
The Mauler beat Steve Dahl, so they got to finish their match that Scott Hall interrupted.
The Mauler was
Mike Enos.
Yep, one of the Beverly Brothers. I thought so. Craig
Pittman beat Rob Ruckus of High Voltage.
Damn.
Fire and Ice. Listen to this. The last match of the night. Fire and Ice beat The Gambler and Rick Fargo.
I like The Gambler.
I like The Gambler too, but not for the main event.
No, not for the main event. But
there ain't even no main eventers on this card.
No.
Probably the highest that, let's see. Sting was on this card, and Kevin Sullivan was on this card. Everybody else was mid-carders.
Kevin Sullivan was on it just because he was booking it.
Yeah.
And he won both matches he was on.
Nobody said this taping was going to be
easy.
All right, and then one more thing for
Sting
WCW.
just wanted to get away from his fucking wife. He was like, I'll go. I don't give a shit.
One more thing before we go into Nitro, one more thing for WCW. WCW live event, Buffalo, New York. Buffalo, New York, 15,000. The show opened with a ceremony honoring local wrestling legend Ilio DiPaolo, who died last year when struck by a car.
Oh.
They aired about 5 minutes of DiPaolo wrestling in the 50s. Bruno Sammartino, Tony Parisi, Sweet Daddy Siki, Dominic DeNucci, Angelo Mosca, Waldo Von Erich, and Angelo Poffo were all introduced to the crowd. I think everybody on that list is dead now.
And the crowd was probably like, who are these old guys?
In Buffalo, they probably knew who all of them were.
This is a WCW card. Listen to this. In a midgets match, Pee Wee Jones beat Farmer Pete.
Oh, God.
Two Legends matches took place as Gino Brito, god damn, how old was he at this point, beat Missing Link.
Damn.
And Dominic DeNucci and Tony Parisi beat Bruiser Bedlam and Bullwhip Johnson. Like, this is all going on at a WCW show, and Eric Bischoff's like, I don't have any idea who these people are. Let's get just book it, whatever. I don't give a shit.
He was just like, he was like, yeah, they're a couple years older than the people I signed in '95.
Right.
Let's just go ahead and do it.
Right.
Hey, we've used Angelo Poffo before. I know who he is. All right, then the WCW matches started. DDP beat Alex Wright. Conan beat Big Bubba. I'm surprised it didn't say John Tenta chased Bubba out of the ring.
Right.
Lex Luger pinned Hacksaw Duggan. VK Wall
terrible.
Street.
I guarantee that was terrible.
VK Wall Street pinned the Desperado.
Oh, my God.
Who was the Desperado? Was that Joe Gomez?
Joe Gomez. I guarantee that was a boring fucking match.
Oh yeah.
Unless Mike Rotunda is IRS, fucking boring.
The Nasty Boys beat the Public Enemy in a wild brawl.
Like they always had it.
That's probably fun though.
This is interesting because of not because of Randy's second, but because of Flair's second. Randy Savage, with his father, Angelo Poffo, who's obviously there for this, beat Ric Flair, and in Ric Flair's corner, Dick Beyer, the Destroyer. That's kind of nifty. Yeah, I know. Like Rick.
Right. Why?
But anything involving the Poffos has the chance to be weird.
You think Rick would have had like J.J. Dillon in his corner for old time's sake?
Yeah, or Sweet Daddy Siki, for Christ's sake.
Right. I mean, but I don't know. Damn.
Sting beat the Giant by disqualification, and that was the main event.
Why did they decide to make a house show into Slamboree Legends Reunion, though?
Yeah, right. Well, I think it's because of that old fuck that got hit by the car. Apparently, he knew Bruno Sammartino or something.
Right, but okay, look, we're going to Buffalo. This guy got hit by a car. What should we do? Let's invite every old guy we can bring to the Buffalo area, and let's let 8 of them wrestle.
Yeah, dust off Tony Parisi.
Right.
He's got a booking.
And then these guys were like, "Are you paying?" "Yeah, we're paying you." "Okay, yeah. We're there.
Like Mr. Hughes, you got any money?
Right.
All right, so to recap Monday Nitro, Scott Steiner pinned Booker T to open the show.
That was probably a good match.
Gene Okerlund interviewed Steiner about facing Fire and Ice at the June 16th Bash. Deborah interrupted Scott and said she had to make a point with Okerlund right away. So Scott stepped aside, and of course she's worried about her husband because we're going to the tag match with Kevin Green against the Horsemen at Bash at the Beach. Deborah, fantastic.
Oh yeah, and this time, like her being that she was just like, "Oh, you got this." Like she's in the Horsemen, and like they're talking about all the other like Flair's like, "Woo, woman, oh woman, won't you marry me now?" and all this shit. And she's like, "Look, there's Nancy over there. She's just a dirty little thing." And she's just like she was fucking awesome.
I liked Deborah at this time for the same reason that I like heel Lacey Evans. And I know this show isn't about the modern product. I'm not going to dig into it, but I hope you guys see my comparison there.
I get it.
Just just like Southern Aaron said. Yeah, nasty. You nasty people.
I'm sorry to say I never found Deborah interesting, whether it was here or when she finally got to the WWF and was with Steve Austin and then with The Rock. And it wasn't anything against her. I'm just so not a fan of Steve McMichaels that anything that was around him, I chose not to watch. You know what I mean? So it's not Deborah's fault. It's just.
Well, you know what he says to you, Archie.
What?
Better watch your mouth there, fruit booty.
And the older I've gotten, I've reversed my stance on Steve McMichael.
Yeah.
In a good way or a bad way?
When I was a kid, I was like, who's this fucking guy?
Right.
But the older I've gotten, I'm like, he's fucking fantastic.
No. I can't agree with that. God bless him.
He's so ridiculous. It's fantastic.
God bless him. I know that he is ill now, and I know he's fighting for his life, and I pray for him every day because he was a Horseman, and he was a part of the Monday Night Wars, and he was a Chicago Bear, too, so I'm not, But Stephen Michaels was atrocious in the ring, and he was one of the horriblest commentators I've ever heard in my life.
Fucking funny. I love him.
That dog was annoying, Aaron.
Archie, you better watch your mouth there, sweet cheeks.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'd much rather listen to fucking Steve McMichael call and match than Michael Cole. That's all I'm gonna say.
Diamond Dallas Page pinned Jim Powers.
Of course, as it should be.
Let's see here. Yeah, it shouldn't have been at all.
It shouldn't have been.
Sting pinned Ming. Okerlund stood with Bobby Heenan and Deborah. Heenan brought Deborah to Flair's locker room, supposedly to see if Flair would agree not to wrestle McMichael, but instead Heenan slammed the door on Okerlund. She screamed from behind the door. When the door opened a few seconds later, Woman and Elizabeth were laughing as Deborah fled. Joe Gomez then attempted to save her, but Flair and Arn laid waste to him.
Yes.
Oh, that's that segment where fucking Renegade gets laid out and he's like, no help whatsoever. Like Flair, like basically, it's implied that like Flair like showed Deborah his dick,
Right,
and then they just like Renegade Joe Gomez gets the shit kicked out of him, and like they pan out and fucking Renegade just laid out. Like he was attempting to do something, but he was no fucking help at all. And why are Renegade and Joe Gomez even involved? Like, what is happening?
Right.
I think they were supposed to have a tag match with the Horsemen.
They were supposed to have a tag match later on in the evening, but because Flair and Anderson laid them out earlier, the match got nixed until the following week, I think.
Hacksaw Duggan beat Dave Taylor. Let's see.
I like Dave Taylor.
Probably taped his fist again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was doing that tape fist thing around
wind up tape. Yeah.
Squire David Taylor. I like Squire David Taylor.
I did too. I
liked the Blue Bloods. I liked the Blue Bloods, and I don't want to keep talking about shit like but anyway, the funny thing about the Blue Bloods was they had Jives with them, or whatever Chives. Like Squire David Taylor and Regal would like smack around Jives, and then like Bobby Eaton would like pick him up and be like, "It's all right, man." Yeah. Like he was nice to him.
Right.
Just Bobby Eaton's he's just an old Southern boy,
country boy. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I'm a working man too, buddy. And he's just like pick him up and shit. Bobby never smacked Jives around. He'd be like, "That's bullshit. You guys shouldn't be smacking this dude around. He brings us water and shit. He's a nice guy."
I know these guys are mean, but it pays the bills.
Yeah.
The Giant squashed Scott Norton to retain the WCW title
in like 8 seconds, I think.
Yeah, Steve Regal beat Billy Kidman.
That was probably good.
Actually, it was only 58 seconds long,
and it was probably not good.
But after the match, Sting ran down and knocked Regal silly. Remember Regal was making a challenge to wrestle Sting at the Bash.
Yeah, they had a great match, and their feud was
the Great American Bash. I'm sorry.
Their feud was super simplistic. It was just that
it was a battle for respect.
Yeah, it was just that Sting and Steve Regal were going to have a match, and when they went to sign the contract, Regal backhanded him.
Yep.
And Sting took offense to it. Like it wasn't some contrived. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't some contrived bullshit. It was just that Sting a couple times before contract signing was just like, "Oh, this is Steven Regal," and was talking about him being like some British sissy or whatever. And Regal was like, "Hey, you can call me a sissy." He just fucking backhanded him.
Yeah,
right.
Sting was like, "What the fuck?" and it just became a thing, and it was a quick write-off feud that actually, honestly, could have been.
Right. Had they not been building to the NWO and the 6-man tag, I think Sting and Regal could have had a good couple-month feud ahead of them. But they knew what they were doing there. I never understood during the Sting-Regal feud, like you mentioned, Aaron. He was like, "Oh, it's Steven Regal," and painting him like this British sissy. Meanwhile, Regal had feuded with Flair already, and with Anderson, and with Steamboat, and with like, how could you ever try to pull off that Steven Regal wasn't a man's man or a real wrestler?
Yeah. Flair and Anderson got a better match than they were advertised for, I'm sure, in this.
This is the Rock and Roll Express match,
they wound up wrestling in the main event. Ric Flair and Arn Anderson fought Lex Luger and Sting to a no contest. Okay. And then at the end of the show, we got the debut of Kevin Nash, which we alluded to earlier.
Yep.
And before we do ECW and independent stuff, I want to take a pee and smoke break, if that's okay.
Sounds good. Sounds good. You going to send the new stream or just let this roll?
No, I'm going to let this roll because I'm going to have this show just be one continuous.
Sounds deal.
Good. So,
all right.
I'm back.
Let me know when you guys are back. What's up?
Nothing.
Was getting too quiet in the back of the house. So I had to go see what was going on.
Arch, you there?
Yes. Yeah.
I was telling Nate, like, I have this. Oh shit! Texting me. I don't give a fuck with it. I have this. It's similar to what Nate's doing because
Right.
So I think he kind of scooped my heat. But I got a concept show
Okay.
for the network thing that Nate has, where it's a little different. I don't know if I talked to you about it, but it's like I'm trying to think of a name for it, but the tentative name for it is The Year That Was, and it would be like a 12 segment show because I would just do a year, like January through December,
Right.
and at the beginning of each show we do roll call of champions. Like what I'm doing right now is 97. So like roll call of champions. Okay, in January 97, these are the guys with their champs for each 3 companies or whatever companies are going on.
Right.
And then we just break down each show, each pay-per-view, and any like news that's from it.
Right.
It like I said, it's similar to what Nate's doing now, and I told him about it.
Nate's doing weekly. This would be a monthly installment. Yeah.
So we're gonna do each month. So each show, what's happening, what's going on, and all the stories that are in that.
Right.
I don't think it would be boring.
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. Because if you're, we're having fun doing this because we're listening to what Nate's telling us and then cracking up and making little jokes here and there. The same could be done for a whole month. You know what I mean? Because there was a lot to be made fun of in wrestling back then. Not always, but you make it what it is. So I don't think it'll be boring.
My concern is me being a terrible host.
I don't think so. You don't give yourself enough credit.
That's my concern.
Come on now, with your list and your ability to not take all the credit, wink, wink. No, I think you'd make a fine host, man.
I agree.
Why don't you try it out on an episode of We Can't Wrestle, like we did with this show, and see how it goes?
I was going to say, next week, we're going to try to do like a, I don't know what day we're going to do it, but I'm going to try to do it where it's like a test run of it or whatever.
Okay.
So I was already thinking that. And then if we turn it into like a We Can't, if it's good enough and Nate turns it into like a We Can't, that's cool. But I wanted to kind of like do it with you guys just to so I'm comfortable with it.
Sounds good.
Kind of work out the kinks.
I'm here for you,
And then every week, like, I mean, you guys would be more than welcome to be on it, but like, say it's like a random Wednesday, and I'm like, hey, Chad, you want to do this thing with me?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, Chad could jump on it, or
yeah. Well, and that's how I see all of our individual shows going. Like this show, every week, if you guys can't both be on it, that's no big deal. If David's got to come on it, I've talked to Majewski about being on it. When it doesn't conflict with his work schedule.
Oh, come on! Don't have the microwave on. He's terrible.
He's a guy that I am begging to do a show. Like I just
he was good on that Hall of Fame thing.
John entertains the shit out of me. He entertains the shit out of me, and I've told him he has teased around about doing a podcast because he's a trading card guy.
Right.
We've talked about doing a wrestling trading card show for and I'd produce it for him and everything, but his work schedule's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Plus, he's worried about. Not only does he work, but he's an indie wrestler. So on the weekends, he's wrestling.
Right. Right. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if Aaron is familiar with what John does, but when Gold told me what he did for a living, my mind was a little blown. like I never saw him in that light. Like
I
What's
don't.
he do?
you guys don't know what he does?
No.
You like a gun runner or something?
No. He's actually on the side of the law. He's a police officer.
Mm.
But keep that between us. Yeah, I made a joke with David. I'm like, so let me get this straight. I went from Era, which had the two main guys, Pat and Petey, a cop, an asshole, a guy who wanted to do podcasts, which Nate was doing. That was Mike, Mike was doing that. To Asylum, which has David Gold and Nick Francis, which is the host, and then another cop and a guy that wants to do podcast. I'm like, so I'm not really leaving my element here. It's just different faces. It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same type of guys. He's like, yeah, you could think of it that way, but we have the better version. I'm like, yeah, that's right.
I was gonna say same kind of guys, better character.
Right.
How's
exactly.
that? Yeah.
That's what David said. It's the better version of it. I'm like, okay, fair enough.
Like, as I was like taking my notes and shit for the show I'm thinking about, I was like, oh man, I wouldn't need the same person on it every week because it's fun to get like different perspectives,
right? Right.
And the other thing I was thinking was like, okay, I go over all these cards, I talk about these pay-per-views, roll call of champions, all this, explain to you guys what's going on, and then like have like the MVP of that month,
right?
And then by the time you get to it, okay, who was the MVP of like 1997 or who was the MVP of like 1986, whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I could do this with anybody. And I was like, man, I can do this with Chad. And then I thought, I'm like, Jesus Christ, me and Chad would be a fucking train wreck.
See, you don't know that for sure. You think you might be a train wreck.
Oh, it would be a fucking train wreck.
But that might be what the gimmick is. You know what I mean? It would almost be like a train wreck, but it's Siskel and Ebert as a train wreck. Two guys reviewing wrestling, but they're doing it in a crazy way. You know what I mean?
And then I thought, oh my God, me and Chad in October is going to be really bad. Like, good thing Nate and Kendall are driving. That's going to be really bad. Like me and Chad in person.
My wife was like, if you want to go to that show in October, go ahead, book your stuff, everything like that. I'm like, yeah, but it's so far. I'm going one guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like someone from Jersey will say, yeah, I'll take the ride with you, or I'll jump on a plane with you, or I could even say I'll go as far as going to David and then going with him because he's not going. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, I can't be in the car that long alone. I need somebody to talk to. For the Baltimore show, my son's going to go with me. For the Philadelphia show, my son's going to go with me. So it's only a couple-hour ride, but with somebody behind the wheel that, I can at least talk to.
Have a
one dude in the car for 8 hours, I'll go stir crazy. You know what I mean? It just, I'll end up pulling over going, Nate, I can't make it. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm where are you? I don't know. I'm just pulled over.
Pulling a no-show.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about me and Chad in a fucking building with beer for 12 hours. That's going to be a good
and other wrestlers.
Time.
And other wrestlers.
It's going to be a good fucking time.
Let me write this time down and we will commence.
104.
All right, now we will roll on. We've covered WWF, WCW. We'll roll on to ECW TV and then the news from around ECW and indie wrestling. There's a lot
Archie's favorite part.
There's a lot of indie wrestling cards this week, guys.
Oh, I so hope the guy that was on last week is on this week too.
what was it? Mike? I can't remember.
I forgot his name. Sergeant something. I thought it was something with like a weird. You got to go back and listen.
I was drunk. I don't know.
We'll see. I don't know. If you want to listen to detailed reviews of ECW TV, you can listen to me, Aaron, and Chad Austin from ECW on the Reliving the Extreme podcast. But let's run down really quick.
She just got to mention on Corny's podcast. Did you hear that?
I have not listened to Corny's podcast this week yet. No.
On the drive-through, Chad gets a mention.
Wow. Very nice.
Was it nice?
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause I wouldn't want to have to shit on Jim Cornette.
No, they got
Right.
a question about. I don't want to trail off. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But no, they got a question about. And Corny was actually interested in the question. Somebody asked them, looking back, would you have thought about doing an ECW versus Smoky Mountain promotional feud?
Mm-hmm.
And he brought up the fact that Chad Austin brought pictures of Tommy's back after Sandman beat the shit out of him with the cane.
Yep.
And Corny was talking about how the Smoky Mountain guys weren't safe and didn't want to do stupid shit. And they were all looking at those pictures and being like, what the fuck are those guys doing? You know? Right. And was saying, like, the Smoky Mountain guys would be coming back to the locker room being like, this guy's fucking stupid with this chair, and he's just bringing it. And the ECW guys would be like, he's just powder puffing me with those chairs. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just two totally different locker rooms. So yeah, they brought up Chad on there.
ECW TV, June 7th, 1996. Joey Styles in the mid-ring, of course. Raven and Stevie Richards come out. Richards said he called a special interview to present Raven with the most disgusting, skanky, dirty, ugly woman he could find.
It was the chick that blew.
He introduced Divine Brown. Yes.
Yeah, that's the chick that blew fucking Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant in a alley.
And Raven told her she hadn't been with enough men yet and left the ring.
Yep. If I recall, she didn't say anything on the mic either.
ECW. And I do that with glowing respect. It's great.
Taz beat Muay Thai boxer Jason Helton. And then we get the angle with Taz and Paul Varelans, whose name
which is one of my favorite wrestling stories ever.
Yeah, that was by far the best story you could have ever told.
Fucking love that story.
Elaborate.
That's the story where Paul Varelans didn't want to put over Taz.
Yep.
So Paulie told Missy, tell Paul Varelans, if you put over Taz, I'll give you a blowjob. So he went out and he put over Taz. Taz choked him out. And then when he went to the back to receive his blowjob, Missy said, oh no, I don't blowjob guys.
I know you told it on the pilot, but for those that are just listening to this show,
best wrestling story ever. It's fucking
and Paul Varelans never went into another ECW event again. After that.
I bet he didn't.
Fucking
he was one and done. He was one and done.
The Pitbulls and Tommy Dreamer beat the Bruise Brothers and Brian Lee.
Soon to be DOA or formerly DOA.
Yeah. And let's see. Those were the only matches on ECW TV that week.
Yep.
So there you go. That's a quick recap. We are in 1994 on Reliving the Extreme, so it'll be another 2.5 years before we get to this show to review it.
We keep listening, bitches.
That's right. But if you want to hear it now, join me on my new show, Replaying the Extreme, which is just me copying Nate and Aaron and Chad, but just saying what they said all over again. And then listen for Nate.
Hey, we need content. We need content, Archie, so that's fine. If you just want to do a transcript show, that's fine.
Right.
Repeating the Extreme.
Repeating the Extreme. But I'm doing it, Aaron, in this dull, boring white voice. And then Tommy said, and then Aaron said to Tommy said, well, for an hour and a half.
I just get told that I have a white, boring voice?
No, I'm doing it.
He said he's doing it, and then Aaron said,
right.
Blah, 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 blah.
It's like an ASMR. It's like an ASMR video. real low talking tones.
It's like a Hannibal shoot interview.
It's
Hey,
it's like our show on Audible.
Right.
Wikipedia says.
Wikipedia said.
Fuck Hannibal.
You got hello, Kevin Sullivan. Somebody told me that you currently live in Hawaii.
Hannibal's fucking garbage.
How is that?
Hey, he's like Hannibal doing a shoot interview is like Will Ferrell doing Harry Carey. Hey,
no, it's not even. It's like when Chris Farley would do the Chris Farley show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Remember when you were with the Beatles?
Hey,
what was that like?
Hey, Bret Hart. Remember when you fought your brother at WrestleMania 10? Did you like that match?
Wikipedia says it's one of the greatest matches of all time.
Wikipedia said that Stu Hart is your dad. Is that for true?
And this entire segment is dedicated to friend of the show Barry Rose, who also fucking hates Hannibal. So, all right, let's go into some miscellaneous news.
Hey, Hulk Hogan. Hey, don't interrupt me. Hey, Hulk Hogan. When you slammed Andre the Giant, was that difficult?
Hey, Hulk Hogan, in your shoot interview, you said you didn't know if Andre was going to lose or not. Is that for true?
Is that for true? Hey, Hulk Hogan. When it comes crashing down, do you really hurt inside?
Or do you take a stand and not be afraid to hide? You got the lyrics wrong, brother.
Can you help your friends?
Are you a real American?
Are you a real American?
All right.
Sorry. That went off the rails. I apologize. That's why I can't be a fucking host.
We don't have a lot of news on ECW this week. You have some miscellaneous news, and then we are going to dig into the indie results to end the show for this week.
Yes.
Yes. I picture that GIF with that little kid that's like,
yes, that's me right now.
Yes, Queen.
Sabu starts with Tokyo Pro Wrestling on June 24th. Jesse Ventura left his KSTP morning talk show, although he may still be involved with the station part-time. Let's see here. Bill Dundee lost a Loser Leaves Town match on the live Saturday USWA TV show. It appears PG-13 are headed out as well. JC Ice already lost her Loser Leaves Town match and is headed to Puerto Rico.
Well, somebody's got to... He left with his dad. That's what that was.
The final... And here we go. It's the end of an era. The final USWA show at the Mid-South Coliseum is June 24th. They move to the Flea Market's smaller arena after that. The Flea Market's smaller arena. And Memphis was definitely in a bad way at this point.
Yeah, it died on a toilet, just like Elvis.
And then it became Power Pro and was not good at all. Power Pro's pretty bad.
No.
Corey Macklin.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go, guys.
Corey Macklin trying to pretend to be Lance Russell.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible.
I just never understood why somebody always had to leave town on one of these shows. Every show, loser leaves town. Like, dude, can I stay? Do I have to leave?
Dude, I've told Nate about this before. I was watching some shit, and it was a Portland show, and Don Owens was obviously the promoter of Portland, and he had a match. Portland had a match between Roddy Piper and Playboy Buddy Rose, and Don Owens is introducing it, and it's a loser leaves town match. And Don Owens, the promoter, is the guy in the ring with the microphone, and he's got the microphone in his hand, and he's like, the next match is a loser leaves town match, and I'm going to stop booking these type of matches because I keep bringing these guys in, and I pay all this money, and they keep losing these matches, and it's costing me so much because I pay like $500 to bring Roddy Piper in, and now he can't show back up. Like he's bitching to the crowd about this fucking loser leaves town match. It's fucking fantastic.
I just never. It's always like, you know, that was always the blow off of the feud. Loser leaves town, and I understand. In some instances, it's needed. Like Ric Flair leaving the WWF when he lost to Mr. Perfect in '93. You know, he's going back to WCW. That's fine. But on indie shows, it was like, why does every indie wrestler have to leave? They know they're going to be back.
That Don Owens shit, where he's like, I'm going to stop booking these type of matches because it's costing me a lot of money. I fucking watch that every time and just laugh my ass off. That promoter's just like, God damn it. Why do these guys keep having this fucking match? I paid $567 to bring Roddy Piper in here. I'm not going to get any of it back. It's fucking great.
Archie, you're going to be happy to know that to end this week's show, we literally have, as reported here, 9 independent shows to run down.
Yes!
So here we go. From this week in 1996, let's get started. Mid-American Wrestling in West Allis, Wisconsin, at the Knights of Columbus with an audience of 325 strong.
How were they able to figure? Wait a minute.
Alice?
It's spelled Allis, so it's either Alice or Alice.
Okay, I have a better question.
Mm-hmm.
How did they fit 325 people in a Knights of Columbus? Those things are small.
Yeah, they were standing room only, and
there were no fire codes in '96. There were no fire codes in '96.
The Knights of Columbus
burned.
The Knights of Columbus are like, can you get all these people out of here? We just want to play poker and watch TV. You know, you're in our clubhouse.
That Great White concert hadn't happened yet. Nobody knew about it.
Here's your card, guys.
All right.
Simon Stiletto beat Trevor Blanchard.
No relation to Tully, I'm guessing.
No, that's his retarded son.
Wave Rider Craig.
Oh God!
Wait, hold on.
Wait, what?
Wave
Rider. WAVERIDER. Wave Rider.
He's a surfer. He's a surfer.
Wave Rider Craig.
Yes. He beat both Billy Wilde and Danny Dominion to retain the MAW Cruiserweight title. Barfly Mike. I've seen that guy at the Old South.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Right. He goes to the bar down the street from me too.
Yeah.
Beat Professor Axel Future.
Wait, say that again. Professor what?
Professor Axel Future.
Oh my God.
To retain the Street Fight title.
So wait, the Professor was trying to become the Street Fight champion?
Yes, he was.
Shame
Barfly Mike.
Shame on him.
You can't beat Barfly Mike.
No. You can't get Barfly Mike to leave on last call. How the hell are you going to beat him for the Street Fight title?
That dude took 2 bottles to the head and a rejection from a woman. You can't a big woman. You can't beat
him. Billy Joe Eaton beats
no relation to Bobby.
Beat Spy Master. 3-2 in a 30-minute marathon match.
Oh my God!
To retain the MAW Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, I see why now. Okay.
Spy Master. You know he came down to
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a James Bond. Or either James Bond or Mission Impossible was playing when he came out.
The Sicilians.
You know what the bad part is?
Oh,
I'm
go
sorry
ahead.
to cut you off.
No.
They had it was an Iron Man match, a 30-minute, and he won
Mhm.
3-2. That means that feud already was going on for like 4 months. You know what I mean? And they led
Yeah,
to that
this was the
marathon match.
blow off.
Right.
This was the blow off to Spymaster versus who?
Spymaster versus Billy Joe Eaton.
Mm-hmm. Thank God it was the blow off. Oh.
All right. Let's see here. The Sicilians, who are Frankie DeFalco and Johnny Mercedes.
Uh-huh.
No, actually, it's Lou Albano and Tony Altamore, but that's okay.
Beat the Love Brothers and Farmer Vic and Bouncer Belinsky in a triangle match to keep the MAW.
Oh, those are
tag
three separate
titles.
tag teams. That's 3 separate tag teams. 6 people. I thought it was like 4 people on 2. Okay.
Here's the worst part. I don't know if it's the worst part or the best part or what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know who made an appearance at this what sounds like a god awful event?
Pat Patterson.
Lay it on us.
Nick fucking Bockwinkel.
What?
Nick Bockwinkel.
Why is Nick Bockwinkel there?
He's a member of the Knights of Columbus.
He spoke during intermission and received a plaque from the MAW.
He walked in to pay his dues at the Knights of Columbus. They're like, "Hey Nick, could you say something to the crowd?" He's like, "Yeah, sure."
He spoke and he said, "What
Why are you here?
Is going on?" And he said, "You 27 people should be ashamed."
It was
They showed
327 people
to watch the fucking Night Raper and whoever you said,
the Spy Master,
the Spy Master,
Professor Future,
and Professor Future have their fucking match.
Damn. Poor
All
Nick.
right.
That show
Southeastern
made me mad.
Southeastern Championship Wrestling in Greenville, South Carolina. 102 people in attendance.
And
they were all sad.
To their defense, the 2 people were just babies in cribs, and nobody knew that. They were like, just call it 102.
They only have one. Actually, they only. This might not be the whole card because they. Wait, no. They only have 2 matches listed, so maybe it was just like a charity thing or something.
Okay.
Butcher Blackwell.
The guy left.
Butcher Blackwell and Crusher Lewis beat House of Pain. What?
Okay.
And the
That actually sounds like a good match.
Everybody jumped around and left.
Right.
The Desperado and Jake Mulligan beat Steve Anderson and Freedom Fighter.
We heard about Freedom Fighter during the pilot episode.
Yes, we did.
So, yeah.
He's showing up again. All right, here we go. The Eastern Wrestling Alliance.
Oh, this was the one that I got a kick out of the most last time. Go ahead.
In Hoboken, New Jersey.
Oh, shit, my backyard.
At the high school, 250 in attendance.
Okay.
We saw this guy. Didn't we see Inferno Kid on the NWA show that we watched?
Yes.
Inferno Kid beat Ace Darling.
Okay.
Johnny Rods.
Ace Darling played Donald Trump on WWE, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. And he used to team
He
with
fought
Devin
Rosie
Storm.
O'Donnell.
And he was also, I think, wasn't he one of those guys that was brought in with like Chris Daniels and them at the end of WCW?
Yeah.
I know he was with Devin Storm as a tag team. Him and Devin Storm teamed in ECW and then WCW for a little while. So, yeah, I think you're right.
Johnny Rods beat Johnny Valiant in a Legends match.
Wow.
Oh, my God. That was probably terrible.
Right.
And Johnny Valiant was like, Kasuka Sing.
Yeah.
Up your
Parlez-vous,
nose.
Franz,
Up your nose with a rubber hose. Gino Caruso beat Kodiak Bear.
Damn.
Tito Santana beat Sheik Abdullah. Managed by Java. Do you think it was Johnny Rods as Java Rook?
Probably.
Iron Man Tommy Cairo beat Precious.
Java Rook is another one of my favorite wrestling stories. And it's not even a story, it's just an angle. I don't want to interrupt you, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I know the story, but you can go ahead and tell the listeners.
But Roddy Piper in California fought Jabba Rook and Jabba beat the shit out of Roddy Piper on the
Really?
show. Yeah. And then the next week, Piper shows up with Jabba and and the commentator's like, Piper, he beat you up last week. What are you doing with him? And he goes, oh, that guy beat the shit out of me so bad. Why would I want to fight him? I'm on
Right.
his side now.
Right.
It's fucking great. I love that. But go ahead. Sorry.
Iron Man Tommy Cairo beat Precious Damian Stone. King Kalua beat Johnny Gunn.
Ugh.
Jim Powers beat Dangerous Devon Storm.
Okay.
And that was your main event.
Now hold on.
That was like a New
This
York
was-
show, right?
Hold on.
New
Okay, It was
Jersey.
in Hoboken, just outside of New York. You mentioned Johnny Gunn,
Mm-hmm.
and he just debuted in WWE as Salvatore Sincere that same week.
Yeah.
So I guess he was finishing up on the Indies when we did that show, and then probably
Sounds that way. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Let's see here. The Continental Wrestling Federation in Dallas, Texas at the Sportatorium.
Oh.
500 people in attendance. Bobby Duncombe Jr. beat Jimmy James.
Okay.
Bubba Monroe beat Dapper Danny Davis. Oh, I'm sorry. Bubba Monroe and Dapper Danny Davis beat South Central LA.
Now, is that Danny Davis that we know as the former
Nightmare?
WWF wrestler? Yeah.
No, I think this isn't the referee Danny Davis. I think this
Right.
is the Nightmare Danny Davis.
Okay.
From OVW.
Okay.
Let me find myself here. Charlie Norris, who was terrible, by the way.
Very,
he was
very
in
bad.
WCW for a minute.
Yep.
Charlie Norris beat Nightmare. Charlie Norris was a nightmare. Scott Putski beat Rod Price. I was actually a Scott Putski fan.
I was a Rod Price fan.
Yeah, I like Rod Price.
Him and GFW, Global.
GWF, and
GWF,
Global.
yeah. With John Tatum as Hollywood and Vine, they were a fantastic tag team.
Johnny Mantell and Bo Vegas. Oh, Johnny Mantell, Bo Vegas, and Devin Michaels beat Killer Brooks, Guido Falcone, and Vito Mussolini. We got a lot of GWF talent on here, actually.
Yeah.
All right, let's move down the line here. We still got a couple left.
Still no mention of my favorite guy from the pilot episode.
Yeah, that's
I can't remember his name. He's gonna die in infamy.
If you want to hear the name, folks, listen to the
original episode.
Yeah.
The pilot.
You still with us, Aaron?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. They got a couple cards listed here that only list like 2 or 3 matches, so I'm kind of skipping those because there's no fun there.
Yeah.
All right. Championship Wrestling Federation in Warren, Michigan at the YMCA. No attendance listed.
So it was like whoever was
there.
Whoever was playing basketball and lifting weights. Hey, you guys want to sit down? Yeah, sure.
Skull Gans beat Mike Legacy.
Okay.
Killer Canark. That's a silly name. Killer Canark.
Uh-huh. Okay. Now I see why nobody was there, Nate.
Beat Bobby Clancy.
Oh, no.
Mike Kelly fought Death Dealer to a no contest when Punisher Rock Stevens attacked both men.
Now, see, I thought Punisher Rock Stevens would have been with Dead Dealer. You know, it would have made for a perfect tag team, but okay.
Maybe he turned on him.
Yeah, maybe.
They were a great tag team in Motor City Wrestling, but the Outlaws, consisting of Bobby Lee and Woody Lee,
okay,
beat what sounds like the name of a porno, Hot Paradise, to win the Motor City Tag
I
titles.
love that one, Nate. That's my favorite one.
And Tommy Starr beat Cowboy Bobby Lee in a hair versus hair match.
You know, if you would have said Cowboy Bob Orton, I would have jumped out of my seat. Like, what the hell? Nick Bockwinkel's in Wisconsin and Orton's over here? Like,
you know that you know this Bobby Lee guy wanted to shave his head anyway because there's no reason, there's no way he was like, yeah, I'll lose my hair in a YMCA.
Yeah.
What was his name?
With nobody there.
Cowboy Bobby Lee.
Bobby Lee.
Bobby Lee was like, I got cancer.
Oh God. Oh God, Aaron.
But I don't want the people to know.
And the promo was like, or the promoter was like, I got you chemo.
Yeah. We'll just put you in a hair versus hair match, buddy Lee.
Yeah. All right, look, Bobby, we're booking you in a hair versus hair match. Okay, no problem. I'm in. I want to cut my hair anyway. All right. It's going to be at the YMCA. Oh, cool. Those should be packed.
I hear that place is air conditioned.
And I already live there.
Right. And then they get there. And there's nobody there. And he's like, do I still have to shave my head?
Yes.
Can't we just say that I shaved my head? Nobody will know.
And they're like, well, do you still have cancer, buddy Lee?
You just want to leave town? And he's like, yes, I'll leave town.
In Turner Hall, Wisconsin.
Ooh.
In front of an audience of 125 strong. Badger State Wrestling presents Mortimer the Great.
What the fuck?
Mortimer the Great.
The Great
beat Frankie DeFalco.
He was on the other card.
And so was this guy, Trevor Blanchard.
Yes.
Was defeated.
Yeah, that's Kelly's retarded son.
Well, he lost the Badger State Wrestling Championship to Tom Stone in this event.
That's why Tully started claiming Tessa as his daughter. He didn't want to talk about Travis anymore. You lost. Fuck you. You're out of the will.
Yoshi Kwan was on this card for some reason, and he beat Larry Valentine.
Damn.
And Ben and Glenn Mullins beat Keith and Kenny Arden. You know, this promotion's like, this is the brother tag team feud of the century.
Yep.
Get your popcorn, get your hot dogs. They're going fast, wrestling fans.
You're watching this match in a building with a drop ceiling.
Right.
Like, if you're watching a wrestling show in a building with a drop ceiling that has like those foam, like what Archie's got on his ceiling right there.
My ceiling, right?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. But if you're watching a wrestling show with that type of ceiling and like a chintzy ceiling fan, you should have just kept your $3.
Leave my ceiling fan alone, Aaron.
It's fine for your house, but you don't have a fucking mat going on.
How do you know I didn't book a wrestling match tomorrow at my house?
Even though they only have 2 matches listed from this card, I have to mention it. I have to mention this.
Go for it.
It's the AWA Southern States Wrestling in Brighton, Tennessee at the Community Center with 325. That's a decent indie crowd.
But there's only 2 matches.
Only 2 listed. I'm sure the rest happened, but you know.
Okay.
Black Jack Daniels and Billy Jack Daniels fought the Moondogs to a double countout to retain the Southern Tag Team titles.
The original Moondogs?
No.
Probably. This was probably. What's his name? Larry Latham might have been in it, but this is probably, what is it, like Moondog Fido or something? Like they
Fido,
had.
It was probably the one from Smoky Mountain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and here's the reason I needed to mention this. Sounds like a decent main event for the AWA Southern title. Terry Golden retained against Chad Austin.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll ask him about that.
Shout out to Chad Austin.
Yeah.
It's highlight that shit. We'll ask him about it.
About wrestling Terry Golden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking butt fuck Montana, where he is at.
All right, let's see here. Peach State Wrestling in Cordele, Georgia.
I was going to say, if it's not in Georgia, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah. Peach State Wrestling in Southern New Jersey.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a memory of this card, but it's a little fuzzy.
Coming to you from Seattle,
Hey-o.
Washington, it's Peach State Wrestling.
Fuzzy Peach.
David Jericho fought Carolina Kid to a no contest.
Damn.
Thomas beat Bola Duke. Thomas.
He went by the Tank Engine.
Not listed here for copyright reasons. Malaya Hosaka, beat Candy Divine by DQ.
And that's Chad's friend.
Mm-hmm. Joey Maggs beat Fred Avery via default. Joey Maggs.
Jumping Joey Maggs never
Jumping
jumped.
Joey Maggs.
Didn't he play
No.
Doink? Or
No.
Dink, I mean. Didn't he play Dink?
No.
He
No.
played Dink.
I was
Joey
joking
Maggs
because he was so short. I was joking because he was so
No,
short.
yeah, that was a stupid. I thought you thought Joey Maggs played Dink.
You want to
No.
hear the bad part? Nate asked that, and I went immediately to think about how tall Joey Maggs was. No, he couldn't have played Dink. He's at
But
least 5'5".
he was jumping Joey Maggs, but he never jumped.
I found it
I
odd.
never saw him jump.
The weirdest part about Joey Maggs' career for me was I found it odd when Jim Powers were being managed by Teddy Long in WCW. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, Teddy had Fire and Ice before, and then Scott Norton made Ice Train fire him. So his go-to guys were Joey Maggs and Jimmy Powers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
He also managed Chris Jericho, though.
Like, let me holler at you, Jumping Joey. The Rock and Roll Express beat Rex King and Steve Dahl, who we all know is Well Done.
Well done.
Let's see. Terry Taylor beat Billy Black, managed by Timothy Owens via disqualification.
You think Terry came out to the Red Rooster theme? No?
I doubt
Okay.
it. Oh, I bet this was rough in the arena. Where are we at here? We're in a. It doesn't even say what the arena is. Listen to this. I bet this was rough. I bet there was like feedback and shit. Hold on, let me read how it goes here. Where was it? Okay. Brian Pillman no-showed his interview segment, but did do a phone intercom interview.
Oh, God.
Can you imagine that? Like they're playing his phone interview over
In
the
1996?
Yeah, it's probably like.
Lord.
Ooh.
Right, and then the only thing going over the intercom was a curse word because Pillman cursed every 4 words. But
Like, is this Brian Pillman or Wales fucking?
right.
Like, what is?
Look, I know you guys have been to indie shows before, so
Oh,
have
yeah.
I. Sometimes the mics are so bad you can't hear the actual live wrestler speaking the right way. How are you going to play a phone recording over it?
Intercom? Yeah,
Probably sounded like Wales fucking.
Right.
I bet that was terrible. All right, last card. It's the AWA Southern States Wrestling again in Brighton, Tennessee. Ty Dalton beat Pete Madden.
No relation to John.
Blade Bordeaux and Chris Gray beat Black Jack Daniels and Todd Johnson.
No,
they don't
I've
sound
heard-
like they go together.
No, they don't. Todd Johnson and Black. No, this doesn't.
Like Black Jack sounds like he has a gimmick, and Todd Johnson sounds like he's just there. You know?
Right. Look, we need an extra guy.
Hey,
Who do we
guys.
got? Right.
Hey guys,
Hi.
I'm Todd.
This is
Todd.
my
I'm here for the match.
Right.
This is my partner, the Rough Cowboy, Black Jack Daniels.
Black Jack Daniels. You know what I can't drink anymore because I had too much of it when I was like 15. Jack Daniels. I got a cane with him. It makes me want to puke in my mouth.
By the way, did I mention my name's Todd? How you doing?
Hey guys, I'm Todd.
I'm Todd. Now I've heard of Blade Bordeaux. I've seen him wrestle before. He actually is a pretty good talent. But going against Todd, I
Blade
guess
Bordeaux
anybody
can go.
I like how he's
So I
just
think
Todd
this
now.
might be a good match.
We've just decided he doesn't have a last name.
Right.
He's just Todd.
He just Todd.
Black Jack Daniels
Actually-
teaming with Todd.
Actually, his full
Hey
name.
guys.
His full name is. Hi, my name is Todd.
The name tag gimmick.
Yeah.
JT Storm beat Johnny Reb in a first
Okay.
blood match.
Ooh.
Chad Austin beat Terry Golden.
We gotta ask.
Hold
Chad
on,
about
hold
this
on.
whole
Here,
fucking-
listen to this.
So wait,
We
did he
got-
win the title?
This is the one we got to ask him about. Listen, Chad Austin beat Terry Golden via forfeit to win the AWA Southern
So
Heavyweight
wait,
title.
wait, he won the title.
But then Danny Be Good beat
God.
Austin, beat Chad to win the title.
So they Dean Douglas him. They gave him the belt, and then they decided to let the next guy come in and beat him. Oh,
so
God.
where is what is this town and what year is it? I know it's 96.
96. This is Brighton, Tennessee.
Write that shit down. If you have it, we gotta write this shit down and ask her about it.
You know,
You gotta remember, but it's gonna be fun.
I wish that by coincidence we would have had Chad on the show with us tonight, and then when Nate would have read this, Chad would be like, "What?"
Yeah,
What
there's
do you
sometimes he'll be like, I don't fucking remember. And in the main event of this show, Coco Beware
Took on Todd.
beat Randy Rocket.
Okay.
Randy Rocket to win the heavyweight title of this promotion.
Now, I'm just going to take a shot in the dark here. Randy Rocket came out to Elton John's Rocket Man. Just going to take a shot in the dark. He was the champion. You know, he came, this feel good song.
He came out to that. He came out to that or Major Tom, one of the two.
One of the two. Todd came out to no music. It was just dead silence, and he just came out. Hi, I'm Todd. I'm Todd.
And the ring announcer's like, "Ladies and gentlemen,
Todd."
Yeah, with disdain.
Right.
Todd.
And his partner, Blackjack Daniels.
Randy Rocket is a terrible name.
It is. It sounds like a cartoon character.
It's not the worst we've heard, though. We've heard worse.
Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Coco Beware has to be like, "Hey, I beat Randy Rocket." It's like,
For
you
this
know who else beat a Randy Rocket a couple times in his life? Pat Patterson.
I just pictured Coco Beware's promo like, "Oh, Randy Rocket." Doing the Southern Baptist preacher deal. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the premiere edition of this Slice of Time pro wrestling radio show here on WrestleNet Radio. 25 years ago in professional wrestling. I want to thank Archie and Aaron for joining me this week. This will be a weekly show. Go ahead.
Thank you for allowing us to be on this, because this is by far my favorite show.
Me too. I'm a wrestling history nerd.
So am I.
Yeah, I like this, and there are many shows to come here on WrestleNet Radio. For those of you who have not yet, if you are a listener of the station, I did start a Facebook group for the station because I want to start doing some conversations, some listener interaction for some of the shows, and also post some contests up, some giveaways, and ways that I want to let everybody know that's listening now. Within the next couple of weeks, I'm going to have it worked out where we will be able to do like literally live broadcasts. So be able to have listener interaction and call-ins with listeners.
Right. So if you guys join the Facebook group and start interacting on that, then you may be the ones that get to be the first people called in and be on these shows. Which it's fun, guys. I'm not going to lie. You're going to have a blast.
And talk to the monkeys.
Yes, and if if you are already following us on our just Facebook page, not the Facebook group, join the Facebook group. That being said, Aaron, Archie, thank you for joining me. Like I said, everybody, this will be a weekly show on Friday nights. Don't forget to join Archie on Thursdays. Yes. If you smell what the Arch is cooking at 8 p.m.
We might be preempted this week because I'm going to be away from Saturday morning till Tuesday afternoon. So I'm not sure if I'm going to have a chance to watch content or not this week, but I will give you guys something. It may not be a full wrestling recap, but it may just be me, ranting and raving for about a half hour.
I'll just play the Sanford the Son theme for a half an hour.
That's fine.
It'll just be his entire audio of the colonoscopy that he's going to have.
Right. That's going to take 4 days.
You got a problem, sir.
You ate a lot of red meat. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Thank you for supporting WrestleNet Radio. Lots to come in the future. I'm very excited about it. And we'll see everybody next week on this broadcast and many more on WrestleNet Radio. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night, folks.